morning, TNT. Good morning, good morning. Not a blessed day. Not a blessed day. First of all, we start off as usual. Good, bad, or indifferent is a blessed day. Every day the Lord Father give you is a blessed day. So take a second out your day and give thanks. Show some gratitude because He give you and He had to give you. So let me give some thanks. Alright, update for you. I had a power outage around here past day and a half or so. We had to go and back and forth and sort all kind of thing out. So couldn't film and thing, eh? So I had no access to internet or nothing past day and a half. But ain't too bad, eh? But now we used to that, eh? All you know already. We used to that already. Well, you already know. So me a fret, I ain't worried. Sorry about that. Eh? I wasn't worried. Had food and thing there. Had candle and everything. I was good, man. Family here, we sit down here, so we cook outside. We play cards and thing. Teaching them how to play knock, eh? Working on it. But me I go complain because we play knock and have getting them licks, boy. So me I go complain. Eh? We got a bag of conkles and thing. Yeah, man, we play knock for conkles. 10 more, you remember that, eh? But I end up with a big pile of conkles, boy. Good. Anyway, so we was good, man. We was good, but I couldn't film anything, eh? But first chance I get, I was keeping track. First chance I get. So you'll get intermittent. You go up for a little bit, then you go down. Then you go up, then you go down. So when it go up, I go check and thing. And as it go down again. So it was intermittent. But we here. We good. Panchito still alive. Unfortunately. I thought that thing was 20 years old. Talking to my father-in-law, because he had to take me up to the big, well, the city here in this way called province kind of thing. So you had to go there to sort it out. So he take me down there. We was talking about it. Come to find out, that blasted goose, he had 20, you know. Nah. He had 20. The thing is 30-something years old. 30-something. You know that thing have blood pressure and gout and he had diabetes and blasted thing probably have Betty Davis eyes and all kind of thing. Me and know you go have avian flu, swine flu, COVID. Me and know that thing has all kind of thing. Man, he blind too. And they still don't want to let me kill the thing. Feeling bad for it, boy. I really feel bad for the thing. He can't see. He hearing starting to go. Just now he can't smell. He go get arthritis and thing. He ain't go be able to walk and thing. I'm feeling bad for him, man. Let me cook him, let me kill him now. But nah, there's the pet. You hear him in the background there? He not talking about his ass. He not want to kill him, eh? Don't worry, Panchita coming for your ass. You make all that blasted noise. I go cook you. Wait and see. Anyway, update on Panchito. Anyway, so let we talk. Hold on. Wagered. Real thing going, eh? Way, boy. Good way to start. Me and no. Anyway, let we start. Let we get into it, eh? Here's the biggest update. I'll give all of that first. Because I teased it. I'll put that thing and I see, guess what Kamala sold? Well, indirectly she sell it because she get money for it. But I ain't gonna tell all of that. But this is an agreement. Miss Kamala gave the rights to all of the waters surrounding Trinidad and Tobago, gave complete autonomy and all rights to the United States. So the U.S. controlling all the water surrounding Trinidad and Tobago. So she gave away the water. One of the bases in Trinidad and Tobago, and they are not saying because they can't say for national security reasons. But all you know already, the U.S. military is stationed there. They will be there the whole time now for the entire duration of this training exercise that will be prolonged indefinitely. The Gerald R. Ford, what you see, no, that's not coming here. They are now in Trinidad waters. No war. Okay. They fly in helicopters. They had a bombing run last night. It leave from Virginia. And they had refuelers and F-35s following them, accompanying them. The whole flight. Once they cross into Caribbean water, the transponder shut off, so they can't track the plane. Flying straight towards Venezuela last night. Or you'll probably hear it and see it fly over Trinidad. All the bombings that were conducted in Trinidad water, bombing all them fishing boats, and I'm going again to that too, was done by Reaper drones. America pushed all of the military assets 15 miles off the coast of Venezuela, which puts them square into Trinidad and Tobago waters. Not international. Not conjecture, Mr. Bat Signal. And don't worry, nothing to fear. Miss $1 billion Sari is here. Okay. Now, Russia has come out yesterday and they said there's new weaponry that they have. They're not telling nobody what it is, but they say they're shipping it to Venezuela, and here's why. Because under the NATO agreement, America was not supposed to ship any major weaponry into NATO that will encroach on Russian territory. Basically, it's called the Monroe Doctrine or Monroe Agreement. You stay on your side there, so we go stay over here. Me, I go come there or interfere with nothing over there. You don't interfere with nothing here. But that is not what happened. America is the leader of NATO, and America is providing weapons and all these things there. America pushing the boundaries to get into Russia. America want to take over parts of Ukraine and push them back and say these are Ukraine. This is part of Ukraine, which was historically part of Russia and always part of Russia. The people there don't speak Ukrainian, they speak Russian. But they want to take that over. US cannot win a war with Russia. So what they do is like the Art of War say, prolonged battles will financially destroy a nation. And that is what they are trying to do. And America starts shipping Tomahawk missiles to Russia, to Ukraine. So Russia say, okay, you going to put nuclear weapon and all these things in Ukraine and all these countries right next to mine. But you don't want us over there. So he said, okay, tit for tat. You could do it, I could do it too. And he shipped massive amounts of weapons and massive amounts of missiles to Venezuela. Venezuela is now the most defended and the most militarily capable nation in all of Latin America. Period. And they're shipping more, but they ain't saying. Before all of this, Maduro said they boast over 5,000 missiles there. Over 5,000. I don't even want to guess what that number is now. So, let me talk about Maduro. Now, let's go play into a couple things, huh? So, before I get to Maduro, let me talk about a fella. His name is Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis. Former Army, retired Army. Saw war all over the world. Lengthy career. Retire. He was keeping track of everything going on in Venezuela. And being a colonel in the military, he is well versed in international laws, Geneva Convention, UN laws, maritime laws, trafficking laws, everything. And here's what he said. I go paraphrase what he said for you. But if you're really interested to understand what he said, go and look him up. You could find him on YouTube. You could find him here. He did a podcast recently called Redacted. You could find that. Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis. Now here's what he said, and I'll go paraphrase. In short, there is no law anywhere in the world, not international law, not maritime law, no laws anywhere that permit the bombing and killing of suspected and alleged drug traffickers. And he said it's still alleged because no evidence has been presented. Why? Because they have none. Moreover, when you go on his YouTube page, you could find longer interviews and things, or longer videos where he explained things. And one of the things he said, they were analyzing the boats. And he said, being in the military, we had to deal with arms shipments. We had to deal with drug shipments too. We had to deal with all of these things. We had to gather evidence before we conducted any action under the Geneva Convention, rules of engagement. We had to. We know exactly what to look for. He said, when you are trafficking arms or drugs, they will minimize personnel to maximize cargo. Meaning, almost always you will find one man on the boat and the whole boat packed up with drugs or guns or whatever else it will be. So they can minimize the personnel and maximize cargo. So the one video they show, you could see it packed up with all kind of things. But said a couple of things they saw was oil drums, among other. There was nothing there to identify them as drugs directly. But you see, let's just say it was drugs. There was only one man on the boat. He said all the other boats had multiple personnel. Multiple personnel. Which he says gives weight to the claims that the majority of these were fishing boats. Fishing boats. He said they very well could have been trafficking. They could have been other things. But they were not drug trafficking. And even if they were, there is no law anywhere to permit the killing of anybody for drug trafficking without due process. Moreover, it is against UN law for any nation, especially the United States, to go into a foreign nation for the purpose of regime change. That is illegal. That breaks UN law and the Geneva Convention's rules of engagement, plus maritime law, international law, and the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. But no war. Okay. Now here's why Miss Kamala lying through. She blasted teeth. But we could get into that. When he started to talk about all these things, what he mentioned, he said, what Donald Trump and the United States government is doing is highly illegal. He talked about the drug trafficking. He said when you look at cocaine trafficking, Venezuela is not even in the top 15 for cocaine trafficking, not even in the top 15. The United States' own government website states fentanyl is the problem. And them telling all as the Mexicans doing it. Their own government website state, and I quote, and you could go and look him up and he will give you it. You could find this. Go and look up that gentleman, Daniel Davis. Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis. They said 4 out of 5 shipments of fentanyl, 4 out of 5, are being shipped to point of entry between Mexico and the United States. Point of entry. No, all of them coming through point of entry, sir. All of them coming through point of entry. 4 out of 5 of the people held. Now listen to this, sir. Them are Venezuelan. Them are Mexican. Is American citizens shipping the fentanyl in. And the 5th, are visa holders who are entitled to be in the United States. You hear Venezuela there anyway? Which makes his actions illegal. Now, Miss Kamala went on TV and say, the U.S. is not using Trinidad to conduct a war. We know nothing about that. We know nothing. And here's why that is a blasted lie. And Miss Darling, Miss $500,000 roti. Miss, it raining, we can't walk. Miss, it too hot, we can't walk. Miss, I had to go Sari shopping. I have $1 billion there to play with. Listen, you on the bat signal, Sobers Beach. Listen carefully. It has something called the Status of Forces Agreement. You know it well, madam. You ratify the agreement. Patrick Manning tabled it and put it forth. You ratify it. So you damn well know the agreement I'm talking about. Now listen carefully, madam, Miss Lawyer. Lady Redman, a simple tradesman, let me teach you some law. Even with the status of forces agreement, which simplifies the process that would allow American troops and foreign nations to conduct military exercises and other issues as pertains to national security to enter Trinidad and Tobago and our waters without having to go through a lengthy process of filing paperwork, waiting for that paperwork to go through, getting an agreement, getting permission, then filing separate paperwork for them to bring their weapons onto Trinidad and Tobago soil. That is a separate set of paperwork that needs to be filed. Everything was separate. Every little thing they had to file paperwork for and wait for approval. But with the status of forces agreement, all the government of Trinidad and Tobago has to say is no problem. But in either case, madam, they have to ask permission to be there. Moreover, under the Geneva Convention rules of engagement and UN law, as well as maritime and international law, every nation you go to, if they go to a nation, they must tell the government why they are there. And if any military action is being conducted from their soil, they must tell the government. So don't play stupid. You damn well know. And you know that the United States is controlling one of the bases in Trinidad and Tobago right now. And that is where they're launching Reaper drones. And that is where they're landing, they're bringing in their hardware. And that is why over 2,000 U.S. military personnel are in Trinidad and Tobago right now conducting operations. And that is why the U.S. tell you, madam, to prepare for war. But there's no war. Okay, that is why the Gerald Ford is in Trinidad waters right now, 15 miles off the coast of Venezuela. And that is why Donald Trump, a couple days ago, reclassified Maduro as a terrorist leader, so he could justify actions to go in there and kill him for regime change. And you would say, oh, that never happened. That is Mr. Sober's speech, bad signal. Mr. Backward salute. Okay, Sober's Beach. We talk about conjecture. Last time Donald Trump was there, he told the CIA to go in and kill Maduro. They went in. Half of them get killed by Maduro. Why? Because Russia find out and warn Venezuela. And the other half get hold. That was the 5 American officers, American personnel that Venezuela just released. They wanted to kill him. Regime change. And he went and showed the man he want to be there. And what he say, he's the illegitimate president of the country. They could say the same thing about Donald Trump. And he said the same thing about Joe Biden. So by his phrasing, on his stance, that should give every other nation grounds to push a regime change. Right? Okay. You have members of government telling the military, do not follow orders. Donald Trump is coming around and calling that sedition and treason. He said a post that they should be executed for sedition. That is treasonous. Okay. There's a black fella, I can't remember his name, man. He was first put in charge to lead this Venezuela operation. And he quit. He resigned. He said, I am not conducting illegal actions. Okay. A 3-star general, I think his name is Mr. Joe McGee, just retire, just leave the military. He worked directly with Hegseth and them. And he said, I quote, these are illegal actions. They are bombing fishing boats. And I will not be partisan to an illegal war to push regime change, which breaks all known laws. Intelligence officers, CIA, military, Army, Navy, Marines, retiring and leaving by the masses, all saying the same thing. No evidence. And the evidence they have showed the contrary to what they say. And all of them say, the Trinidad and Tobago government is well aware. But you feel you could keep your mouth shut. Right? Me I know. Plausible deniability. They never tell me nothing we know. Madam, but the laws of the country state they must inform you. So you can't use that plausible deniability. Mr. Lawyer. As Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis stated, Donald Trump should be facing charges by the ICC. The same thing that the president or the former president of Philippines is facing right now. He's in jail. He's looking at life in military prison for killing drug dealers. Drug dealer. The same exact thing Donald Trump doing right now. But he reclassified Maduro as a terrorist leader. As of Monday, please God. Monday. Fox News, the military TV, as well as other organizations are saying they are positioning for a war. This is not hyperbole, madam. And they are using Trinidad and Tobago as a launching point for that war. They are saying that. The United States government saying that. Military officers, former military personnel, all of them are saying the same thing. But you could take your big bottom in front of a blasted camera with your 20 pounds of makeup and your blasted new Sari and the bat signal standing in the back, covering his head so he don't blind up all the camera there so, and say, no, there's nothing going on. No, we did not give permission for that. And this would not happen. You say they wouldn't be in the water. International waters, right? 15 miles off the coast, madam, that is Trinidad and Tobago waters. International water. You signed over the rights to all our water surrounding Trinidad and Tobago to the United States. Not our waters. They will not be on land. They walking through the place right now. They flying helicopter from Trinidad to Venezuela. Military helicopters flooded with missiles and guns to Venezuela. Not our land. They're not going to be on land. You want to call Maduro a criminal? Your judicial system, because you are the prime minister, madam. Your judicial system is being investigated by the UN and the ICC. Because you have people in jail for 5 to 10 years for nothing, and they have never stepped before a judge, calling that a crime. Your government, your police is being investigated for extrajudicial killings and murders, and not one of them face charges. As a matter of fact, all the charges get dropped. Your police, human trafficking. Your police, drug dealing, and charges are dropped and they get promoted. You thief $1 billion within 5 months. You allow America to bring the blasted war machine off our waters on a lie, war on drugs. When everybody know, and even military is saying, this is a war for regime change, which is illegal. Now Maduro shipping gas to Colombia. Colombia's involved, and they will get involved. The rest of Latin America is now paying attention. All of them paying attention to what's going there. Maduro stated he's now at war with Trinidad and Tobago. He's at war. And the missile technology I have stated before that they have. And they just get another one. It's called the Bastion missile. It's a mobile platform. Can fly at hypersonic speed. And it can move and divert mid-air, mid-flight to avoid being hit. It could fly as high as 46,000 feet or a couple meters off the water and skim the water. Designed to strike land and ships. And almost, it's not impossible, it's extremely hard to shoot down. Now Iran officially say they are involved too. That just came out. Iran is involved. And Iran set up a manufacturing facility in Venezuela to manufacture drones. The same drone technology that Russia using and mashing up Ukraine. An advanced Russian drone technology. Advanced Chinese drone technology. Advanced Russian weapons. Su-30. Not the old F-16 they was flying. Su-30. What they said, the military said, when United States put boots on the ground, because they will have to in order to seize the oil, it will be the biggest mistake in U.S. history. They cannot fight them. Because they can't just seize that country. They are hoping that Maduro is going to tuck tail and run. But he just mobilized the entire country. Because of you. And madam, here's why you need to worry. Here's why. If Donald Trump gets charged under the ICC, you will be charged too. Because you are complicit. Your government, your whole government will be charged. Because you are all complicit. You allowed them. You gave the permission for them to be there. Not the bat signal Sobers Beach. Man, dotish no ass.
The U.S. could go where they want and they could do what they want and nobody can say nothing.
No, sir. UN law states otherwise. Geneva Convention states otherwise. International law, maritime law, and the laws of Trinidad and Tobago state otherwise. They have to have permission to be there. They cannot show up. That is the status of forces agreement that your Prime Minister ratified. So that's a blasted lie. And then you have Mr. Steroid, the Black Hulk, Alexander, come out there and say,
well, this is normal. They just always come here and they just train and thing, and we go sit down and play some knock and eat, we go make a cook and lime and thing, and then we go train and take some steroids and nothing wrong going on. We do this before, we really do this before,
So how many times they ship weaponry to Trinidad and Tobago? How many times? How many times they park a destroyer in our port? How many times? How many times they have the largest strike force carrier in the world, the Gerald R. Ford, right in our waters? How many times they do that? Mr. Steroid? How many times?
Or they do that all the time. And then they go come on the beach and we go make a cook and thing.
No war. All military. See, war is imminent. As a matter of fact, United States is denying it. But reports have come out that it was the CIA that conducted a sabotage mission in Venezuela that blew up one of the oil depots. I tell all you there was in the country. Conjecture. More reports came out. They hold a few of them. They tried before, recently. Maduro captured them. They have them. And now Trinidad and Tobago is in the crosshairs of Venezuela, China, Iran, Russia, Colombia, Ecuador, and soon Brazil and Cuba. Congratulations. Congratulations. You just managed to break a record as the most dotish Prime Minister in Trinbago history. Venezuela cutting off gas, you say we don't need it. There's a lie. That is a lie. Because without their gas, you have nothing. You don't produce enough gas to sustain the country. So that's a lie. That is a lie. And this whole renewable technology and renewable energy, that don't work nowhere. Nowhere in the world does that work. Nowhere. But you go make it work because you is the superhero, Miss New Sari. Nothing to fear. Miss New Sari's here. I'll show up, man, with $500,000 roti and $1 billion salary on my flying carpet, and I bring in the bat signal Sobers Beach with me. And if all else fails, don't worry. We go take the Black Hulk and we go choke him in the backside with some gamma and let him go, Mr. Alexander. We go let Alexander go. And he go Hulk, smash all of them. Nothing to fear.
We good. And if that work, we have Randy. And Tanku, and you're welcome. He go up there and talk them until they give up. We good. We could protect the nation. Venezuela said, if we decide to attack Trinidad and Tobago, there's nothing you could do. And we will destroy the island. We will destroy it. Those were his words 2 days ago. Nothing to fear. And you feel Russia ain't gonna get involved? And China is there? China that have one of the highest, one of the biggest agreements with Venezuela, so much so that Venezuela pays no tariffs to ship any product to China. China and Russia, who buy almost all of Venezuela's oil. China and Russia, who equip their entire military. China and Russia, who ship weapons. China and Russia, who provide them with technology. Okay. China and Russia that provide them with intel and support. No, they're not gonna get involved. Nah, you know better. Use the superhero, use the Indian superhero. Yeah. Well, madam, I hope you fly your backside right back to India, you know. You love India so much, take your ass there, so. And take Randy with you. And take Tankwan, you're welcome. And Sobers Beach, take them all there. And go to the Gobar Festival. And let them pelt all your backside up and down with Gobar. Because that's all I hear coming out of all your mouth. Madam, if charges come down, and you and your government are currently being investigated by the ICC, and you damn well know that. If charges come down, madam, you are complicit. As I stated, when you open your blasted mouth and say kill them violently, you just committed a crime. But they teach you that in law school. Why you don't go ask your friend Miss Kangaroo, let she hop she backside over there and teach you? Monday, when they classify Maduro as a terrorist leader, they are trying to circumvent the legal system to go in there and kill him and force a regime change, which is illegal. Nothing to do with blasted drugs, when their own government said it's American citizens bringing the drugs in the country through Mexico, through points of entry, and it's fentanyl that killing them, not cocaine. And all the weapons being shipped through the Caribbean is being shipped in shipping containers coming from the United States, not Venezuela. The largest consumer of human trafficking, the United States. The largest consumer of narcotics, the United States. But Latin America is a problem. And dotish mother ass like all you will believe every blasted word out of their mouth and put the whole Caribbean at risk. But you had to worry. You have a big house. You have a station in your yard. You in a private community, gated community. Yeah. You and your friend that you give big possession and Piaco and the TFL money and them face charges yet. You who allow your friend, the president of Grenada, you allow his wife to come in and buy up all kind of property and thing. Subsidized property and thing in Westmoreland. You who turn around and thief $1 billion. You helping the country. You who try to say we're going to take us $1 off gas, but you're taxing them 20 come January. You and your blasted corrupt judicial system from the top down. Children live what they learn. And this is what all government officials and appointed officials are seeing. All you're doing, they will do the same damn thing because they know they're getting away with it. And your laws prove me right. You want to target drug dealers? I tell you, target the money. But me is seeing no banks getting charged or investigated because the money have to go into a bank to be laundered. Must go into a bank. But I don't see you doing no investigations. Leave the bankers. Leave them. Leave the corporate people alone. Leave the corporations alone. They are building the nation. Because that is where your interest lies. Corporate interest in America. If you love America so much, get your nice saris. Pack it all up. Jump on your blasted flying carpet and take your ass and go live there. This is not the United States. This is not the Republic of Donald Trump, you know. This is not the Republic of Kamla and Munilal. It's Trinbago. And Venezuela and all them people, that's we brother and sister because that is our heritage. That is where we originate from. All are we the same people. And you're going to sit there and let a foreign nation conduct a war to kill we family. Kill we brothers and sisters. So they could thief every blasted thing from the country. And then you that blind and dotish to see that they may come in for all your necks. But that's not a problem because you already hand it away. Just like you give away with water. Just like you prepare the military to conduct a war and tell them it's a blasted training exercise. Just like that. Nothing to fear. Miss New Sari's here. Well, pull the parachute off Silver's Beach for it and let the bat signal go. Because, madam, you just start a war that you cannot handle. And you just start a war that will destroy the U.S. economy and the United States. Because you feel them people at home, the millions of Latin American people living there, will sit by and watch their motherland decimated for American greed. Texas and these other countries these other states are overrun with cartel.
What do you think is going to happen? Are you that dotish to realize that Venezuela have a foothold in Trinidad right now? Being helped by China, who have an embassy in Trinidad and Tobago, and they are not feeding them information. Well, we don't know. We don't know. No, nothing's going to happen. No, we didn't agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All we have now is a flag and an anthem. You make sure of that. And Trinidadians just now go to bed and close their eye under the red, white, and black, and they go open it under the red, white, and blue. And you go take the billions of dollars that you launder and you thief from the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and fly your nasty ass to America and go live there. No, go to India. Go live in India and see how they like all it there. You is not an Indian, you're a West Indian. You're not even a West Indian. Don't even call yourself a West Indian. Call yourself a blasted American. Go live in America. Us trinbagonians, we are West Indian. We know we history. And we know where we come from. And real trinbagonians will not sit by and keep their blasted mouth shut while government like Olia and America go out there and murder our brothers and sisters from Venezuela, Latin America, and the Caribbean. We is one people. But you tell us we're different. That is the illusion you created. An illusion created to divide. Because like I always say, and you damn well know it, you should know it well. Together we aspire, together we achieve. But divided all we go fall together. The good book says a house divided cannot stand. But madam, this war will financially destroy America and Trinidad and Tobago. There will be no coming back. And you will cost lives. Because the next thing you're going to open your mouth and say, draft, conscription, through a lottery. But none of yours, none of your parliamentarians, none of these government officials, and these high-ranking appointees, none of their children going. But every other poor person in the country, you go send their children there, so. But they have the right to refuse an illegal action. And your government's actions are illegal. And you should be held accountable for it. Maduro's not a criminal. He's a madman. He's a dictator. Yes. And he's a criminal, absolutely. But you are a bigger criminal because you want to sacrifice the people of your nation when he is saying no war. You want to sacrifice your own people. You is the real monster. You is the real blasted criminal. You and America. Oh yeah, sorry it was a long one. Sorry about that. But past couple days, had a lot going on, so I just want to keep all you in the loop. So expect more of this, more and more. Like I told you, make sure you have. Just be ready. It's better to have and not need than need and not have. If you get extra food or thing and you have extra food and you have it and nothing happen, partner, you have food. You could eat it. You could give away some, you could help out somebody. But if something happen, you have food. Not if, when you have food. And considering the technology I tell all you before that Russia have, and they are there right now. Make sure you have. You ain't gonna get gas. And come next year, early next year, because this ain't gonna be quick, this could drag on. The longer it drag on, the harder it could be, and the more expensive. But Miss New Sari and all of that blasted, greedy ass, all that them go have. But you ain't gonna have. And then people go start to kill people for food. While them chuck up in their house with the private security and thing. Them ain't go in no grocery store, you know. Them go send people to go do and they go grocery shopping and thing for them, you know. Them ain't go it. While all you go get killed and thing for food. And all you busy killing each other. You go take your last $20 and go sit down in the blasted rum shop and get drunk. And go home and beat your wife and all kind of thing. Instead of staying at keeping your blasted ass at home and putting some food in the fridge. Pay attention. You like to drink? Drink at home. Watch where you're going. Be aware of your surroundings. Because America started. And Trinidad will pay dearly for it. Because of the actions of Kamala. Now is not the time to be complacent. Pay attention. Do not be distracted. During the fall of Rome, the emperor put on games to distract the nation while his country was being while the empire was being destroyed. Don't be distracted. Pay attention. Make sure you have. So God bless all you. God guide all you. God keep all you safe. God grant all your strength, love, and compassion. Like I just say, one people. There no difference. That is their illusion, created to divide. They go put all of we in a different pen. Put a tag on everybody's ears. Tell everybody a different lie. I need everybody to the same blasted slaughterhouse. They don't care. They go tell you you're different. But they're treating you just as nasty as the next one. And then they go how they fight each other. So they're paying attention to what they're doing. Divide and conquer. They could hold some of we. But if we stick together and we stand together, they can't hold we. They can't stop we. So we cannot divide ourselves further. Stop fighting your brother and sister. Love your brother and sister as you love yourself. Make sure you have about 3 or 4 good partners where you're living there, so. And make a pact. If anything happen, all you come rushing to each other aid. Make sure you have food and things stock up. Make sure. And this coming from U.S. military personnel. For America. So you should be just as prepared in Trinbago. We are Trinbagonian. One people. One Caribbean. From the islands all the way through Latin America. One people, because we all originate from the same place. And God is all we Father. So all are we his brother and sister. Be aware. I love all you too bad. All you, all my brother and sister through Latin America, through the Caribbean, all over the world. But we are being led by evil people that want a world war so they can try and recover a completely destroyed financial system and implement a new one. One that they can control. Be aware. All right, it's a long one, eh? Keep up the data. We'll let you know what's going on. So, love all you too bad, eh? Too bad. God bless all you. And one day the Lord Father will restore. Stronger and better than before. You know, get rid of all this wickedness and evil that infested and infected every nation. All this wickedness that putting brother and sister against one another. So they can reap the benefits and control everything. In his time, he will do it. He will do it. God bless. Take it easy, Chad.